I think our teams are actually ready to go, and we're going to start game number 2 here. Of course, to remind everyone, this is a best of 3. The winner of the set will move on to the grand finals, and they will be fighting the Church of Mal, who is already sitting there waiting.
Yeah, Church of Mal is waiting for this matchup to get going. This is game 2. We're about to jump into it right now. Bans and picks going out. Team C now is on blue, and BrawL is red.
Is it going to be Atomic Wonder Woman banned first? Well, are they going to actually do that? Actually, it's probably not going to be Team C that bans us, of course, because there is the possibility that they get Atomic Wonder Woman first.
So they might try and force BrawL to ban it,
right?
And with that, because they get first pick, so. Yeah, see, they're going to get rid of Gaslight Joker.
And I like that because I think that given their play style, I don't think Cal wants to see Gaslight Joker at all. He's obviously going to want to play Wonder Woman or something along those lines. He does play extremely well with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because you could definitely see they targeted that Wonder Woman ban for Cal.
Right. And so I think that's the direction they're going towards. So getting rid of Gaslight Joker just makes it so that no matter who Cal ends up getting, he has a little bit better chance at surviving against him.
And if BrawL doesn't ban Arcane Green Lantern, I feel like they're going to be okay with giving up either one of those and taking the second pick.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's Arcane Green Lantern is actually what they're going for. So they may actually be challenging C to beat them with Atomic Wonder Woman as well. And we do want to mention to everyone, of course, that Play to Win unfortunately was experiencing some connection issues. So they did actually, Team C did actually have to sub in Mystogen.
So Team C actually banned their own, Cal's #1 pick, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I'm shocked, to be totally honest. I mean, it removes another strong enforcer up top, but that means they're explicitly running a non-Wonder Woman comp. So, like normally when you're running Wonder Woman, like you build a comp around her, right? Because you build around her stuns, you usually build with AoEs and stuff like that. So they're explicitly saying, we're going to do something really crazy here. And of course, that does mean that BrawL comes back and bans Atomic Wonder Woman in return. They're saying, all right, we've played this game of chicken enough. We know you guys will first pick her. We're going to knock her out.
All right, so by knocking out Arcane Green Lantern and Atomic Wonder Woman, that leaves Harley Quinn open, and Team C grabs her first. So with this, I mean, you still have so many really strong champions open. You got Atomic Green Lantern, who we saw banned last time. Joker is probably going to be a #1 pick for BrawL.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I mean, of course, we did see the mid lane as Star Sapphire for BrawL in that last game, but of course, Joker is going to be plenty powerful, and I would expect Genre to jump on that here. Aquaman.
I don't know if Aquaman's a serious pick,
okay, I didn't think so
when
either.
Atomic Green Lantern's on the board.
It was still funny to see, though. Okay, so of course, like Harley Quinn, just given the bans that were out there, was pretty much the obvious #1 pick. She does offer so much survivability to your team, as we talked about before. But back on BrawL side, now they're sitting there with one of the strongest mid laners in the game, Joker, and of course he is going to be able to do a crazy amount of damage as the game progresses, and they have an excellent initiator in Atomic Green Lantern, and we do know that if he's able to get off the ground in any way, shape, or form, he becomes a game changer later on in the game.
So with that, you have 10 seconds left. What do you think Team C is going to follow up with? Oh, Nightmare Superman. Are they going to go with double controller composition here?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I mean, because Nightmare Superman can still do a pretty crazy amount of damage, too, if you build him in the right way. His poke is already good to begin with. So between his Condemn for suppression and just the sheer amount of poke damage he can do, I don't necessarily mind that comp, but I don't really know where they go from here, you know? I mean, they've got to start filling in Marksman, Enforcer, etc., but, like, where? I mean, Atomic Wonder Woman's already off the board as far as assassins go. Maybe Flash?
You got Flash, you have Nightmare Robin. We've seen both of them played really well.
Yeah.
And it looks like they might pick up Flash. And with that, I mean, we still have... I mean, Atomic Green Lantern, do you think he'll be in the jungle for BrawL?
Maybe not, actually. Maybe he's going to sit as a top laner. I think it all depends on where they want to go now, because since there's so few enforcers, or there's no enforcers that have been picked yet on the Team C side, I could definitely see a possibility of them just nabbing the big enforcers that Cal likes to play.
So we could see Cal move in for Mecha Superman. Mecha Superman and Shazam are two other enforcers that are on the board right now.
Cyborg. We did see this in EU, an actual Cyborg pick. Okay, it was Gasbat to start, and I would expect that that's what Cripsy's going to end up going for here. So Gasbat, of course, complements us pretty well. I don't know. Let's see. After that, So they've already got an Enforcer if they want it. They either need to pick up a jungler if Ease is going to, or I'm sorry, if Atomic Green Lantern is going to play in top lane, or
they'll need to go for a top lane if Atomic Green Lantern. Otherwise, there's still Zatanna and Poison Ivy Prime on the board, and we definitely see BrawL really go for. We definitely see BrawL go a lot for go all in for Zatanna.
Yeah, and I would expect that to be the case here, but it's crazy that Poison Ivy is going to be up and not used at all. Kathis actually, or I'm sorry, Team C actually taking Nightmare Superman as their second overall pick.
She wasn't used last game either.
You're right.
They prioritize Harley Quinn. I mean, Harley Quinn has been open both games.
Yes.
Usually when you see Harley Quinn as one of the bans, then that falls down to, all right, you got Nightmare Superman, Zatanna, and Poison Ivy Prime.
Right.
And that's when those two teams kind of move up to Poison Ivy instead of when Harley Quinn's not available.
I guess that's absolutely true. And Poison Ivy is just good. You usually see her picked if Harley Quinn's off the board, first of all, just because she has no strong counter pick. She's just good as disruption in any case. But with Harley Quinn there, she's the obvious first pick. So you are correct. Zatanna is chosen for BrawL. Back on Team C side, we still need to see what Cal's going to play. And we could possibly see another Atomic Poison Ivy right now. I don't know how well that synergizes with their team. You're hovering over Atrocitus, and we've seen a lot more Atrocitus play, and I like it. He gets about as big and beefy as anyone can be.
So it looks like they're just going to try and go for their Marksman first, and then still take a little bit of time to think about this Enforcer combo.
All right.
So what I think we have on the board, there's still API. We have Mecha Superman, Shazam, and then also Atrocitus.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Or they're going to lock in on Star Sapphire, and they're going to play a total non-Enforcer comp.
Wow.
So their tankiness is going to be very limited. Now, with double controller, they have a lot of healing potential from Harley Quinn to begin with, and they have great suppression and CC from Nightmare Batman, but they don't have explicit survivability. Now, Flash is going to be able to get in and do a lot of damage and get back out and get healed by Harley Quinn, but there's no one that's just going to sit there and soak damage.
Who do you put in the top lane in this situation?
Oh, God, I guess. Okay, so Star Sapphire is going to go mid. We're probably going to see Harley Quinn, Atomic Joker bot, which is going to leave Flash to jungle, and I guess Nightmare Superman top?
I don't know how Nightmare Superman top is going to fare against, by the looks of it, Atomic Poison Ivy.
Crazy. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely Atomic Poison Ivy. She's not going to jungle, so this is a jungle Atomic Green Lantern.
Yes, with Cow taking teleport and the cameras, he's definitely going to be in the top lane on Nightmare Superman.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can you imagine the amount of damage and suppression that they actually have in a fight? Like, they have got to win a fight in 5 seconds or less. Because if a fight lasts for more than 5 seconds, honestly, Atomic Poison Ivy is just going to take over.
I mean, I think that's why BrawL took API with their last pick.
Yeah.
Just to add a little bit of extra enforcing for their team comp when... I mean, you're looking at one of the squishiest teams I think we've ever seen in Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, really, all BrawL has to do is peel for their damage dealers. If they peel for their damage dealers and keep people disrupted, like, they're golden. They out-sustain the fights super easily. However, and there is always a however, and we can clearly see it from this comp that Team C has, they need to walk in and pick people off immediately. Like, that needs to be Star Sapphire while Atomic Joker is auto-attacking and Flash just comes in combos. Like, you have to have that.
But the thing is, their two targets need to be Joker, who is very hard to kill as well.
Yes.
The thing is, the two targets that BrawL can actually have as their priority, they both have so much escape. You have Joker and you have Gaslight Batman, who both can escape ganks, no problem.
All right. Well, I'm excited for this game. Like, I genuinely have no idea. Like, honestly, Team C could even sit there and, like, do some sort of, like, really crazy lane composition swapping sort of stuff here, and I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest.
I mean, the thing is, what do you lane swap with if you're Team C?
I guess that's true.
I mean, looking at what you have here, Atomic Joker, Harley Quinn, obviously Flash is the only one that can in jungle at this point.
Right.
And then you also have Nightmare Superman. Like, what is there to lane swap? Maybe Harley Quinn and Nightmare Superman? That's really all I can think of.
Yeah.
And you're not going to pair Harley Quinn with Nightmare Superman and leave Atomic Joker to lane against API.
No, definitely not. So, all right. Well, we're going to have to see how this non-enforcer comp works. Cripsy and GS down here in bot for BrawL. It's going to be a Zatanna Gasbat going up against what will presumably be the Atomic Joker and Harley Quinn on the other side for Team C. In mid lane, looks like we're going to have a Joker Prime versus Star Sapphire. That's pretty standard fare. We see that in almost every game now.
Yeah, we saw that game 1 between Team C and BrawL.
Yeah, and in top lane, Nightmare Superman gonna go up against Atomic Poison Ivy.
What is your take on this matchup here?
I don't know. Like initially I would say that Cow has to bully this lane out with poke damage and gain a really nice early advantage in terms of credits, because as soon as Atomic Poison Ivy adds like 1 health item, 1 damage item, she is standing to outscale Nightmare Superman pretty hard. I would think, you know, just because you're gonna want that health top lane.
And the thing is, we saw in game 1, Gaslight Joker was nearly unkillable. And with this, API should have no problem against a very squishy, you know, controller.
Right.
Yeah, he has the, you know, crowd control capabilities, but he really doesn't do that much damage unless Cow builds him that way.
Which is possible, but then if he builds him that way to do damage, he's lacking the one thing that his team desperately needs, and that's someone who's tanky.
All right, so we can agree that top lane is going to be the lane to watch this game, while you have 2 incredibly strong junglers.
But down bot, it looks like Flash is actually going to get in position here and potentially try and bait this in. Now, it looks like he gives up the chase a bit early on. We did see teams committing, or a bit over-committing to early ganks here in the bot lane. So Team C not going to make that mistake. Mystigen actually going to run around the side. And was he spotted? Might have been. Jumps directly on top of Cripsy. That's not going to be enough, and BrawL going to get away.
Yeah, see, this is what Team C needs here. Mystigen hitting level 2 fairly quickly, and Team C really needs to put the pressure on Cripsy and GS. They were not able to really kill him at all in the early phases of game 1. And now that Team C controls the Atomic Joker advantage with the range, that's what they really need to show through in this game, too.
And, of course, Kathis has his heal available, so this is going to be a very high sustain lane. And they will be able to bully Cripsy out of this, presumably. Whoa! Even getting some extra damage there in at the end. Shield comes in from Satana, but... oh, wow, and Cow, believe it or not, actually snagging a kill up top. He's able to defend against a gank. Flash was nowhere there, so that was a gank, a 2v1 that he went in on and actually won and almost killed Ease on top of that.
Cow almost taking a 1v2 in his favor.
That's crazy.
That's very insane.
New meta. Nightmare Superman top.
Nightmare Superman top. You've seen it here first, folks.
And with his poke damage, he might be able to kill Ease under turret. That's crazy. All right, so just a couple of hits left. Ease is down to just a few hit points, and Cow looks like he wants to go for this.
He gets the auto attack kill.
Are you kidding me? So Cow now with 2 kills to open up this game in top lane as Nightmare Superman. Are you? That's nuts.
And
so
now
soon
they're going to get the Destroyer in the top lane without any contention.
And he's sitting there, so we make sure that he can contribute, get a little bit of credits from that as well. But BrawL being pushed back at the moment. Cow just going ham right now.
That is very disappointing for BrawL, losing a top lane 2v1 in their situation, and losing it to a Nightmare Superman.
Right. So, all right, new meta, like we said, and as I love small sample sizes and making way too larger predictions after this. So, as we can see from one game, Nightmare Superman, the best bully in top lane in the game. One game evidence right there. We've already proven it.
So, if this is true, Nightmare Superman would fare fairly well against Gaslight Joker.
I would think he would as well. If he can actually put out that much damage, then he can actually bully Gaslight Joker back and not allow him to snowball. Like, that's pretty powerful.
Wow, the poke going out by Cow on Ease, already chipping away 25% of his health here.
That's crazy. I love this. All right, Cow, you are impressing me, certainly. I've loved your Wonder Woman play for a while, but this is something special. He has been working on this for a while. Like, this is not... I get the feeling that Team C kind of has this comp in their back pocket. Like, this is something they've practiced and scrimmaged with before to make sure that it was viable. Because you don't just pick a non-enforcer comp like this and send Nightmare Superman top on a whim.
Certainly not in a semifinals match when your back's against the wall in a game best of 3 situation.
So, like, what do they plan for this late game, though, is what I want to know. Ease gets in there and does actually some pretty good damage. Very nice job to actually bully Cow back a little bit, even with the level disadvantage.
Oh, Mystigen jumping in here on Genre. So we're seeing a 3-on-2, but he gets the grab on Mystigen. That's the first kill going to BrawL.
Yeah, and Satura was going to make his way up as well to try and contest this, but it doesn't work.
Not done.
He moves back in on I'm Going Pro. I'm Going Pro comes back. Here comes the rest of Team C. Will they have enough to turn this around on Genre? Pretty nice Vortex there from Nightmare Superman. Can they turn this around on GS as well? GS takes a lot of damage, but of course Joker can waltz on out of there. Are they actually going to chase him down? There's a shield, and I'm sorry, that was actually Zatanna, of course, that's being chased right now. So Zatanna on GS is going to be able to no!
Cal gets another one!
That long-range poke with his E is just crazy.
4-1, 1,000 credit advantage in favor of Team C, but it's all on Cal.
301! He's 301, he's about to max out a second item right now. That's crazy.
Wow, with that, he nearly has 2,000, twice as many credits as API in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's a significant amount right now, and API obviously way under-leveled, so Crit engaged on as well. Kaith is just continuing to move all over the place. Misogen coming back in with a flash. Can they get a stun? Nope, they cannot. And BrawL will be able to sneak out of yet another gank. But I love how active Team C is being right now. They are just running everywhere and trying to make kills happen.
Yeah, Misogen on Flash, I really think it's definitely huge for Team C here with that jungler. I mean, with that speed, he can just move over that map so quickly. And you just saw Cal with the most beautiful teleport into that team fight and turned it around in his team's favor.
That's absolutely right. He's going to move back up top here and try and continue to push back API. Now, what was Poison Ivy sitting at in terms of stats? So she is at 1,800 credits to Nightmare Superman's 2,500. So she's been able to farm by herself, and she's caught up just a little bit there. But Nightmare Superman's going to be right back up there. And I don't know what API does against that. That poke is just crazy.
I mean, he pretty much just needs to build against power damage at this point.
Yeah. And as you just hovered over there, it looks like you just got a Cosmic Belt level 1. So he's getting items to keep him alive here. But I've got to hand it to Cow. This is cool stuff.
Yeah, now Cow is left alone to farm in the top lane by himself, all while we're seeing Kaithus and Satura exchange fairly well with BrawL's bottom lane here.
Yeah, that was not bad. They're doing a good job of aggressively bullying right now and just keeping people pinned back. And you can do that with the sustain of Harley Quinn as well. Like, you can feel a little bit more confident to overextend yourself, take a couple of auto attacks, because you're usually in a pretty good spot to defend those. And look at that, Ease immediately has to get away from Flash there, tried to do a little bit of tricky invasion, but all this allows Cow to do is freeze top lane and continue extending his lead.
Yeah, his lead is now stretched to almost 1,000 credits. You have 2830 on Cow and only 1988 on Ease.
Wow, this is crazy. Cow is in a perfect position. He wants to freeze here all day long. He just wants to ensure that Ease has no capability to push this, to continue pushing this in. And it looks like we may have Atomic Green Lantern starting to make his way up to the top here. Dak, though, obviously has not been nearly as active in this game as he was with Atomic Wonder Woman.
Well, I think first off, Atomic Wonder Woman's global all, it just makes her makes her have that potential to be so much more globally active than an Atomic Green Lantern would.
I mean, that's very true, and also, this isn't like last game where it was pretty even between our two teams and it was super passive, and then Dak just kind of dictated when things would happen. They're going to try and go in on him right now. Condemn actually hits Ease, though, and locks him up for a couple of seconds, and that's enough for Cow to get away, so he survives yet another gank, and actually, about half his health intact.
So with Cow surviving a 1v2 without a problem here, you see Kaithus and Satura have Cripsy and GS bullied to their lane almost this entire game.
And Cripsy has no mana right now, like 0. Now, of course, he's mostly going to rely on auto-attacking and stuff like that, but with them already pushed up against his turret, he doesn't have the ability to quickly combo or get behind them and position himself well with his swing. So this is just free damage on this turret. A great job by Team C to bully out BrawL in this early game down bot.
Yeah, with Cripsy having no will left at that situation, he can either do a Bat Scream or a Bat Flight. Not enough to do both, and not enough to really do any harm to Team C.
All right, so he builds back up as well. He's moving back into bot lane here. All the while, do I spy a Flash invading the jungle just above a little bit? And it looks like he is going to be contested here by Atomic Green Lantern. Oh, and a great dash away from the hook. Dak can't land that, and Misogen gets a free steal of a jungle camp there.
Yeah, that's really great for Mystigen there. Showing Flash, now at level 6, has Speedstorm available. This is where you start seeing Flash really hit that power spike that he can do with his damage, now that Flash is purely attack damage as well.
So, can we take a look at top lane, the stats on them as well? We haven't paid attention to them for a while, but Cow is still up by almost 1,000 credits at the moment, just continuing to farm, and he has actually just kind of kept that credit advantage going this entire time. He hasn't need to, he does have teleport, correct? That's what he decided to take, teleport Nightmare Superman?
Cow.
Okay, yeah.
But it's still on cooldown for another 100 seconds at this point. Shamebox coming up in 10. So it looks like Cow would be ready to defend another gank if need be.
All right. Well, BrawL has all of their lanes pushed right now, and it looks like Atomic Poison Ivy is going to get back on top of Cow up top, but Flash is getting in position to potentially move this back. Now,
But the camera is going to spot Mystigen there.
But is it enough time? Immediately, there's a Condemn with the Vortex right on top of it. Pulls Ease back. Ease, of course, pops his ult to try and get away. Mystigen diving right back on top. There's a little bit more health taken in from Ease. He's going to try and back away and get around the side. Gets back down to Genre. Genre comes in with his Joker. Does a little bit of damage on Mystigen. Mystigen has to run away now. Ease is actually going to re-engage. He has to watch out that he's not comboed here in just a second. And it looks like at the end of all of that, a lot of screaming, but no real damage done. I'm going pro, trying to sneak around the side just in case BrawL sticks around too long.
Oh, but...
Oh, and maybe they have. And already some damage done. There comes the Predator. Ease is going to die for that. Really nice play from I'm Going Pro. Cow is in there to absorb a few credits as well, and actually goes up to 4 kills. That wasn't a Star Sapphire kill. That was another Cow kill.
That picks up his 4th kill right now, almost at 4,000 credits at only 12 minutes into the game.
I'd say he's doing all right so far, and he is proving the detractors wrong. So, look at this play. This has just been very fun. Cow now up to level 9. He's got a 2-level advantage over his opponent. BrawL tries to overload bot lane, but they just can't make anything happen. The ult comes in from Dak. That does almost no damage with the healing from Harley Quinn behind that.
Yeah, this just goes to show how strong Harley Quinn can be with her healing and just building her that right way. And it looks like Team C is going to turn this around and engage back on BrawL.
They very well could. Is Flash making his way down? No, he's content just to jungle up top, but they're actually strong enough right now that 2v2 goes in favor of Team C at the moment.
So with this Ease taking the stop in the mid lane, trying to help Genre push up until C's mid lane turret. Not much that he can do. He does have a little bit of a drone wave, but I'm Going Pro just erases that as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm Going Pro is getting very strong now. Maybe no kills, but still at almost 4,000 credits at the moment. That's 600 on top of Joker for now, and he has 3 assists to back that up. So things are working pretty well for him. Even though he doesn't have kills, he still has a nice credit advantage. And this bully strategy of never letting BrawL get off the ground is working pretty well. Now, Team C has to continue to be aggressive. They can't let up even for an instant, because the moment they do, Enforcers are going to outscale them. So they've got to continue being aggressive, and they're doing a great job of doing just that.
Yeah, and you can see a fine example of that with Cow in the top lane being so aggressive against Easy. Already almost has that turret down. This actually might go down right here with this drone wave. Yeah,
there it's going to fall, and a turret goes in favor of BrawL. I'm sorry, in favor of Team C at the moment. BrawL losing their first turret of the game, and a bottom turret goes down at the same time. So what was just a 2k credit advantage just became 4, and they're going to try to extend it even further. Genre gets comboed out in the middle with Predator and Suppression there in the form of Condemn coming in from Cow. So wow, really cool stuff again. They're in danger of losing their 3rd turret here in about a minute and a half.
I don't even know what to say at this point with this setup here. I'm still shocked by Nightmare Superman in the top lane.
But look at it, he's level 10 now. He's got 5,000 credits almost. He's way outscaling his opponent. Now 1,700 credits up on Atomic Poison Ivy, and it looks like they're going to snag themselves a Raider down here at bot.
Yeah, with that Raider going to Team C, that extends their lead to about 5,000 right now.
And Cow really can do about anything. Is his teleport back up, or did he use that to get to any fights out of curiosity?
Oh, it's still available.
Oh, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be for him? So he can make another immediate difference in a fight now. So a 5k credit advantage for Team C. They're continuing to bowl their opponents around. Cow just kind of casually walking back up the top, but he does run directly through a couple of cameras, so BrawL should know exactly where he's at.
Yeah, but with BrawL knowing exactly where he's at, Ease is going to push back, and this leaves Cow to farm up by himself without a problem.
And there were actually 4 members of BrawL down bot trying to gank bot lane, but they were absolutely not successful. And all that amounted to was basically free farming time for Star Sapphire once again. I'm going pro, continuing to push up mid lane.
So yeah, Genre needs to move on in, try to get rid of this drone wave before any more damage to his mid lane turret happens. And all in the while, you still have Cow bullying Ease without a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that poke has proven to be so strong consistently. He's up to level 11. He's got about 50% credit advantage over Atomic Poison Ivy at the moment. And even though Atomic Poison Ivy has done a decent job of continuing to retain experience.
Overextends too much though. Predator and the Shade Box going down. This is going to be a second kill on Genre.
Oh, is he going to get away?
Auto attack by Cow gets another one.
So Cow, of course, is just taunting his opponents, making sure that it's just going to take him a while before they die. Great Predator pickup there. They did have camera vision on Dak. Dak uses his ult on Kathis, but it does virtually 0 damage, and Team C secures yet another kill.
Cow picking up his 6th kill of the match right now. Cow 6-0-2. He has 100% kill participation rate for Team C.
So are we going to see first ban Nightmare Superman when we come around? Because this is not like, oh, well, we didn't have the right matchup there, or we haven't been supporting our top laner in the right way, as we have some engagement actually in top lane as well while this mid turret goes down, as looks like Atomic Poison Ivy was able to get away, but I don't know how much damage she took. This is purely Cow expertly playing Nightmare Superman. There's no way around it. He is playing this character to its fullest. This is actually the best Nightmare Superman performance I may have ever seen.
And then looking at what he's moving into building right now, he's going for the Amulet of Isis for his entire team. So not only is he building... Oh, it looks like we're going to have 2 of them on Team C here.
But I love that because, like, what is the way that BrawL gets out of this? They delay, they scale, they get health. So how do they do that? They play close to their turret, and when engagements happen, they escape to safety. Double Amulet of Isis, no one's getting away. They're just going to constantly chase them down.
So with Team C building that type of strategy here, what can BrawL do to counteract that?
Well, I mean, like, BrawL's got to play passively, right? I mean, this is kind of the same argument that we had last game as well. They have to delay. They do scale better, I still believe, despite all of this. But the problem is they haven't been able to take advantage of any situations. They have one right now. Mystigen was nuked, and BrawL picks up a kill for free. This does narrow that credit advantage back to about 7K. Still pretty drastically in favor of Team C at the moment. But this is what they have to do. Small picks, play conservative, guard their objectives, play the late game.
It looks like BrawL is trying to engage on Cow and try and get this shutdown here. 6-0-2, but it looks like they're just going to leave him to farm solo in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do against him right now, to be totally honest?
Oh no, I'm going pro. Might have overextended too far, but here comes Cow, but he cancels. He cancels the teleport as he sees I'm going pro, going Cow.
Yeah, that's right, because Genre and Ease came in right from behind and was like, all right, well, there's absolutely no chance I'm going to make any impact here. So, BrawL, 2 unanswered kills now. They're bringing that credit advantage down yet more. They've, more importantly, I would say, fed 3 kills over to Atomic Green Lantern, who actually can take a step back, breathe a sigh of relief, because he actually has more gold than his counterpart in the jungle. And BrawL's going to continue to move in on this. So Dura and Kaith is trying to get away. Ease throws out his ult, and they're just going to try and take down Kathis at first. No, he backs out. Looks like GS coming in from the side with Satana. She might be able to get in some damage here. So Turif manages to stay alive throughout all of this with pretty good positioning. Here comes Flash right now with his ult, but it's only going to hit Dak. Mystigen has to run away at the moment. Surprisingly, I don't think anyone died. No, never mind. Cow killed Joker. Where did that happen? Oh, he just teleported. He just teleported. No, he didn't teleport in from the side because that was actually down because of his cancel of it last time. He just showed up and snagged the kill on Joker.
So with Cal coming down, that ends up being a 1-for-0 in favor of Team C. Then no team loses a turret, nothing else happens there. They just extend their gold lead to about 7,000 now, up from 6.
So that could have gone spectacularly well for BrawL. They got the jump on Team C immediately going into the middle of that fight. Kathis and Satura were caught out in the open, and had they had enough damage to follow that up, that could have easily turned into a 2-for-0 where Cow wouldn't have been able to get any damage. But because it continued to stretch on and on and on, Cow was able to come in and clean up a kill. BrawL, though, is making things happen, and the coolest thing they're doing right now is that they're kind of dictating the pace of engagements. They're making picks happen versus having to react to Team C moving on the map. All right, so Cow now continuing to push this mid lane in. So BrawL at this point, they had gotten a little bit closer in terms of credit. We're actually stretching later on into this game, and that credit advantage has been a pretty steady 7K for about the last 5 minutes on average. So it's not like their position has necessarily gotten any worse, and they're continuing to make things happen. Even though they don't have the most credits, they're actually catching up in levels, as you can see too. Star Sapphire at 14 is far and away the highest in the game at the moment, but this was like up until just a second ago, Zatanna was sitting at level 9 compared to some people out there that were level 14. So they're continuing to farm, they're continuing to get experience back, and they're trying to equalize as best they can. If they get another pick or two, this game becomes competitive again.
Yeah, so right now you see Harley Quinn and Zatanna both equal in levels, but now the API has reached the same as Cow on Nightmare Superman. It's definitely a little bit more of a fair trade for BrawL, but Cripsy's taking so much damage coming up from Kathis and Satura.
Yeah, he lost 60% of his health and was forced to use a drop pad there. Heal back up just a bit. Ease is trying to at least keep people locked in for a while. Misjin gets stunned up by those roots, but nothing really going to happen there. 3 members of BrawL sitting in mid. Looks like their bot lane had to go back temporarily to heal back up. And are they going to try and engage on this? All 5 members of Team C are laying in wait.
So while you have the Raider up in 15 seconds, it looks like Team C is just going to try and maintain control of this mid lane and the area around the Raider and just secure a quick Raider for their team here.
So Gasbat is in position to react to this. The rest of BrawL is off to the side, so they can collapse on this fight very quickly if they want to. But Raider, of course, at 22 minutes is going to fall very quickly. It goes down. BrawL is not going to contest that. Team C picks up a free Raider.
So with that genre, getting almost caught out here by Satura.
Yeah, I mean, Satura with a little bit of poke damage there. Team C has pretty darn good camera control right now. They've got vision pretty well extended into their opponent's side of the map. We do have a couple of cameras in mid for BrawL, but that's about it. Looks like one in top lane, one in bottom lane as well, but not as wide of a net of coverage at the moment. So BrawL falling back to their bottom turret at the moment. And all 5 members for Team C are here. They want to pretty aggressively push this down. And just with the sheer amount of poke damage they have with the range of Satura and the abilities of Cow, they really easily take this turret. And unfortunately, Misjin with his ult is not going to get it done. I'm Going Pro moves in and immediately snags a kill on Genre. Genre has fallen, but not before I'm Going Pro goes down in return. GS is also fallen, so Zatanna's not going to be a factor in the middle of this fight. BrawL East is actually under attack from 3 members of Team C at the moment and might have to back out. However, he has kept everyone here long enough for the rest of their team to re-engage. And this is a 3 for 2 so far in favor of BrawL. There's the 4th kill as well. Cow might go down off to the side, and it doesn't look like Atomic Joker is going to be able to pick up that kill. Cow down to just so few hit points. Can Dax chase him down?
I don't think Dax will be able to chase him down at this point. Cow's going to be able to get safely to his turret, but that is going to be a big confidence booster for BrawL.
Yeah.
Ended up being a 4 for 3 in their favor, and their 2, like we said before, their 2 enforcers are what stayed alive.
Their 2 enforcers stayed alive, and we start to see the problem with fights now for Team C. We've been talking about this basically all game. They have to go in, and they have to kill people immediately, and their team is very well equipped to do just that. Walk in, Star Sapphire, Flash, Suppression in the form of Condemn comes in from Nightmare Superman, boom, that's it. They can snag a couple of kills. But when they don't let that happen, those enforcers just sit there and sit there and sit there all day long.
Well, the thing is, Team C really needs to focus on taking out taking out Cripsy in Genre and GS. But the thing is, by the point those 3 go down, Ease and Dak have probably taken up the 2 high priority targets as well. I mean, what can C do to really end these fights faster.
I mean, honestly, I think they need to be happy with the gains they get, and they need to bait BrawL into bad situations. So, like, if they can walk up and snag 1 or 2 kills, like, oh, we're running away, guys, we're running away, oh, geez. Oh, our cooldowns are back off, and now you've chased us into a tight corridor, re-engage, turn around, pick off another kill or 2. I don't think they can have these long, sustained 5v5 fights, though. I think even though they have a massive credit advantage, the longer fights go, the better a position BrawL is in.
So with Team C needing to avoid these extensive 5v5 fights, I mean, is this composition built around just to play picks the rest of the game?
I mean, like, I would have said yes going into this game. I think that Cow, can we see what Cow's actually built in terms of items? Like, I think Cow has shown us, though, that no, I think Nightmare Superman fills that role pretty well. He's pretty tanky right now, as tanky as most Enforcers would be. And so I think that they have the potential to go into longer fights, but I still think that the dedicated Enforcers...
Oh, Genre gets caught out there by Cow, and it looks like this might be a free Leviathan for Team C.
And this is what they need to do. Be content with their gains, pick people off, walk back, let their cooldowns come back off, and then move back in and pick someone off again. It looks like Dax and Ease is just going to try and contest this. All they want to do is be annoying for a while. Bat Scream does hit I'm Going Pro and Cow. Cow is actually taking quite a bit of damage, and they're going to try and engage for the 5v4 right now. Krepsy gets melted out of this, and now they can fight as long as they want because all of the damage dealers for BrawL did die.
That's exactly the way team fights need to go in favor of Team C there. They get a 3-for-0 and Leviathan, all with these 3 power-ups.
Okay, so now we're back to that crazy credit advantage that shouldn't be a problem for Team C to continue to push with this team comp. That needed to go into BrawL's favor. Unfortunately, Genre got picked at the very beginning of that fight, and had it been an equitable 5-on-5, I think the damage from Joker could have secured a kill or 2 while Cow was taking so much damage from Bat Screen and things like that on the way into the fight. But without those early picks, there's no way you can outdamage Team C.
Yes, BrawL definitely needs to start securing these 1 or 2 picks here. I mean, it looks like Team C is going to get the tier 2 top lane turret without a problem, and this leaves BrawL down to their 3 dampeners.
BrawL's down to 3 dampeners. They're down by 13K, and this has been, you know, I think the score is plenty indicative of how dominating Team C was this entire game. Oh, are they going to be able to snag a kill? Here they might. Kathis actually has to back out. Gets stunned up. Is Ease going to have enough to get this done? Here comes GS from the side. Dak and Kripsy behind as well, and they're going to be able to snag a kill on Kathis here momentarily. There's Bat Scream, and it looks like Ease actually got the final kill. Cow actually jumps right back in, though, and they're going to be able to sneak a kill on Ease off to the side. Looks like they're trying to zone out Cal for the time being. Ease actually manages to sneak away, at least for now. They're going to try and go back in on this. BrawL sneaks another kill. Mr. Chen is down, so Flash is out of this fight. They jump back in on Cow, and there's yet another kill. That's a 3-for-0 and a turret for BrawL. Team C tries to come in from the side. GS is taking a huge amount of damage and will end up dying to Satura. Genre coming in from the side too. He's going to try and duel with I'm Going Pro, and that may be a bad suggestion. He gets caught out, though, due to perfect positioning from Team C. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm Going Pro and Satura basically made it so that there was no way to escape except to run through a tiny little choke point, and that is Star Sapphire's specialty. She throws out the Predator and immediately snags a kill.
So that ended up being a 2-for-3, ended up in favor of, I think it was...
BrawL.
Yeah, in favor of BrawL.
They did end up getting the favor there, and they did close what was about a 13K credit advantage to about a 10.5K credit advantage right now. So they make up a little bit of ground there. They grab themselves an objective as well. They've pushed up some of the other lanes, but that could have gone better.
I do think BrawL needs to be happy with how that did go at least. I mean, yes, it was only a 2-for-3. I'm sorry, a 3-for-2. But they did secure 1 objective, and that's really what matters at this point. I mean, they're already down, I think, what, 13, 14,000? They've shrunk that to about 10,000 at this point.
Yeah, that's right. So we see a lot of pings on the map there from BrawL. Looks like they were trying to get everyone down to mid lane for the time being. Let's see, taking a look at teleports around for our players. Nightmare Superman is way down on cooldown. He had to teleport into that last fight. Yeah, so I'm Going Pro has actually continued to farm like a champ. Level 18 at the moment and almost 12k credits. That represents a huge advantage over anyone on BrawL.
Yeah, by a long shot. There is no one on BrawL that even reaches 8,500 credits at this point.
Oh, and it looks like BrawL may try to go in on I'm Going Pro. If they can actually get I'm Going Pro out of this fight, that would remove most of the damage that Team C has here, at least in terms of sustained damage. There we go. I'm Going Pro is knocked out at the same time. Looks like a Raider is going to go in Team C's favor, but they've lost a kill, and there is no way, I think, 4v5 that they can defend this turret.
No, this is going to be another turret going to BrawL. I mean, how does that exchange go? You lose a turret and a kill, but you gain Raider. I
mean, that is way in favor of BrawL right now, because not only are they going to get one turret, they're going to push for a second. We'll see if Team C tries to engage on this. Vortex actually does catch Cripsy off to the side, but he's able to swing away. And looks like they're going to be content just to hold this back for now. I honestly think, though, that BrawL needs to be running out and grabbing objectives. I don't care. Fan out and grab jungle camps. Just do anything to grab yourself a few hundred more credits, get those critical items you need, because clearly you've shown that if you catch someone off, you have the health to linger in sustained fights.
So the ping's going out. Genre and API all need to get out of there, and so it looks like all of BrawL's going to teleport back, reset, regen health. So when they come back, what can they do?
Well, I mean, right now, I think they're content to kind of just sit back. I mean, Raiders down now. It's not like there's a massive objective we're going to see here for a while, at least to the best of my knowledge. We'll have to check around on the map here just to make sure. But there's no big objectives they have to worry about. They're pushed back to their dampeners right now, and I don't think that Team C is in a position where they can just directly assault those dampeners. That's how BrawL has kind of won their incremental advantages, is whenever Team C overcommits or gets themselves caught out. So I largely think this is going to be passive play for a while, and that's going to favor BrawL. Again, the longer this game goes on, the happier they are.
We might see a passive game up until the next Leviathan spawn, which is about 1 minute and 40 seconds right now.
And 1 minute and 40 seconds is actually enough time for BrawL to get about 40k credits. Oh, but look at that. Cripsy actually gets condemned. He is immediately deleted from this fight, and Team C now has a decent advantage. They can possibly start pressuring one of these dampeners. They still have to watch out. Not the most health in the world. Cal pretty much the only one who's filling that enforcer role, really.
So it looks like all members of BrawL, all remaining members at least, are going to try and defend this bottom dampener as much as they can.
And Team C does clear out a little bit of a drone wave there. They let's see if they can pressure once the next drone wave catches up for them. BrawL, on the other hand, has to watch out and make sure they don't get easily comboed, but they should be pretty safe to sit under turret and continue to trade poke here.
I mean, two members of Team C, three, I'm sorry, have their ultimates down. All they have left is Pudding Time and Speedstorm for Mystigen.
So BrawL can't engage on this, and they can't get too far forward, because they will, I mean, let's see, Condemn comes back up in 20 seconds for Superman. And at that point, that's when you just can't engage. You just can't. You have to wait for Team C to misengage, or you have to wait for them to try and overextend for a pick or something like that, and then turn around and try and knock out one of their damage dealers. But I don't think BrawL can just walk up and say, I'm here, and try and fight.
So what I think Team C is trying to do is keep BrawL required to defend their own dampeners, all while you have, and the grab going out on Satura. Shamebox going on Cripsy.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. They tried to straight engage, and look at this. Kafis is going to turn around and just annihilates Cripsy. Cripsy dies again. So BrawL decides to go for it, and they pay. I really think they have to wait for someone to overextend, but now they're going to lose Genre as well, as Mystigen jumps right over the car there and snags the kill. 2 kills for nothing, once again, for Team C.
And while this team fight was going on, Leviathan has respawned. So it looks like Team C is going to try and take out this dampener, or maybe even just close out the fight.
Yeah, they snag yet another kill. Dak may fall here off to the side. No, he's going to get away with just a few hit points, but of course, both Ease and GS just got melted. A little bit of pressure being applied to these turrets. They could honestly rotate down for another dampener if they want to. I don't think they have the strength to just go after the power core turrets at the moment, but I did think they had enough time to go kill a dampener. Oh well.
They did not have the
Leviathan.
drone wave there to get that bottom dampener, but what they do have enough strength for is another Leviathan.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Leviathan's the right call here. See, another 6 seconds before Cripsy comes back, and there's enough stuff pushed in that all Dak can do is sit back and try and kill drones. Otherwise, the power core turrets are going to come under fire once again. This is going to be a free Leviathan for Team C. They're in a great spot.
So that bat scream going out, trying to steal away the Leviathan from Team C, but it did not work.
No. I mean, that's a desperation play. It's always super cool when it does work, though. Don't you feel so accomplished when it happens? Like even small, like I don't care. Like even if it's someone's camp, they're farming in their jungle. I feel great when I have a bat scream go across. I'm like, I'm just gonna see if you're here. Oh, I just killed all your stuff. Thanks, appreciate it. All right, so BrawL now is kind of in desperation mode. They're down by 16k credits. Not only did Leviathan go in favor of Team C, but now in this next engagement, they're more powerful, they're higher level, and they're going to have all those deployables.
Yeah, what exactly can BrawL do right now? I mean, they're pushed back to their... technically in the mid lane, they're pushed back to their power core turrets.
Yeah, and those power core turrets have actually taken damage. I mean, right now, you unfortunately have to play the waiting game. They can't get out on the map. We said it last time, they can't actually engage because they're going to die. They engage, they died. They tried to be a bit too risky there, try and get a grab on someone because they know they have to take risks to get back into this game. They can't do that anymore. They just can't. They will die if they try and re-engage that way. That means they have to sit back and hold at their dampeners. Now, that gives Team C the ability to actually move down to either bot or top and split push while drones are starting to push through to power core turrets. BrawL has to hope that they can get a good engagement there. And I'm going pro is taking some damage here from Ease as he's going to try and continue to move in on this. He is. The rest of Team C is coming down from the top, and I think BrawL smartly realizing, well, we can't chase this anymore.
So with a nice quick disengage by Team C there, looks like I'm going pro is going to reset, but it seems like BrawL's going to send 4 in and try and re-engage on Team C here.
All the while, Flash, Mystigen sitting up top, and he's going to go toe-to-toe, it looks like, with Joker for the time being. So it's just going to be a 4v3 down here in bot lane. Very soon to be a 4v4, and that is a place that BrawL cannot be.
But Genre is going to really need to hold off this top lane power dampener away from Mystigen.
And here in the bot lane, Cow's just going to try and speed on in. Use Amulet of Isis into his Condemned. Vortex hits right afterwards. Dak is locked up for a bit. Will this be enough for the rest of Team C to come in and engage? We saw the bat screen come in from Cripsy. He's going to send it back and continue to try and do damage. Dak is actually unstoppable at the moment. He has actually gotten 7 kills, I want to point out, in the middle of this craziness for BrawL. Ease has to back out for the time being. So Tura takes out Zatanna, but immediately Cripsy falls behind that too. So despite the fact that BrawL came in and got themselves a nice early kill, most of their sustained damage is gone, and they end up losing 2-1.
I'd like to point out that it wasn't Amulet of Isis that Cow used. It was, I'm sorry, I thought it was the Speed Force battery.
Oh, it was Speed Force battery, no kidding.
Because you saw him teleport there to get the Shame Box down.
And Cow, oh! Cow does end up falling. Are they going to be able to bring him back alive? They do! Genre got knocked out, and of course, Nightmare Superman's passive brings him back alive. They're going to try and re-engage on Ease. Ease down to virtually no health. And Star Sapphire can't quite secure the kill, but this is another dampener going to go in favor of Team C.
So with this other dampener going down, Team C turned that around. They got Cow back with his passive, and that ends up being only a 3-for-1 in their favor.
And it looks like if Team C can keep it together, this team comp, this crazy, crazy team comp that we talked about at the beginning of this game might just work.
So it looks like we have the Raider available, and I think that's where Team C is going to funnel to at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the power that they have right now, Star Sapphire alone uses like 3 abilities and it dies. So, I mean, this is not going to last long. There's the Raider. And Cow is going to grab that deployable and start heading on back.
So we're going to see a full team reset by Team C here. All while their BrawL's waiting for Genre to come up. You got 4 members of BrawL trying just to defend off their power core turrets at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as bad as it gets for BrawL. I mean, Team C is not taking any risks. They're not going to... I mean, we are in the monthly finals, of course. The winner of this match is going to go to the finals, play for $1,000. There's quite a bit that's on the line there. So Team C not going to try and be over-aggressive, not going to throw this game away. There was a couple of moments earlier on about the 23-minute mark where BrawL was able to really capitalize on an overcommit from Team C, and that's really the only thing Team C is worried about. If they don't let that happen again, they've got this game in the bag.
Yeah, now that we've seen the credit advantage extend to 20,000 in favor of Team C.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a 20K credit advantage like at the 1 hour mark, but you can't have it here at the 40-minute mark. And it looks like I'm going Pro takes some damage, but here comes the rest of Team C. They're going to re-engage directly on top of BrawL. Whoa! Look at Cripsy from the back with the bat screen, and I'm going Pro goes down. Star Sapphire has actually fallen. Will BrawL be able to gather up on this, though? Zatanna being chased at the moment. She's taking some damage. Vortex goes off, and there she goes. She runs right back around the side to the rest of her teammates, and she survives on top of it. Cripsy in the back here needs to lay out some great damage for Team C to lose any more members, but no, it looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-0. BrawL gets a pick, though, and they have to back out. And it looks like they're not actually going to back out. Cow is re-engaging back on top. Ease is going to die for sure, but we'll see if BrawL can grab any kills from the side. There's a grab on top of Cow, not the guy you actually would have wanted to grab there, as he can turn around and make things very nasty for your team.
So Team C re-engaging like that, ends up making that a 1v1. Cripsy jumping in on Cow here.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't quite have enough damage there, and so Tur actually takes out Zatanna up top. They're going to jump on Dak as well. Dak has actually built himself up to be quite a formidable force, but it doesn't look like that alone is going to be enough. Leviathan comes back up in 60 seconds as well. BrawL got Team C low enough that they might be able to take a power core turret, and that's it. Oh no, they knew the dampener was actually respawning, and they just immediately nuke it.
So that ends up being a 2-for-2, but BrawL has fully regenerated, and it looks like they're going to go on the offense here, but with 2 Amulet of Isises, what can BrawL do to catch these people?
I don't know. I mean, there's literally nothing that they can do here. Looks like, and especially against the Flash, too, you know, I mean, the Flash, you would think that just by his name you'd have a kit that lets him get away pretty well. You know what? He does. Those dashes are pretty darn awesome. So you're not going to catch him down even if you if they didn't have all those Amulet of Isises.
So Leviathan is the next objective up in 5 seconds here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think BrawL kind of has to have, like, a big all-in play to maybe try and pick someone off here. Their team members are going to come up here in just a few seconds, and they may be able to delay long enough for them to catch up, but before Cripsy can come in. Although, at 41 minutes, I'm going Pro has a crazy amount of damage, and that Leviathan is just melting in seconds flat. All right, so deployables are picked up for Team C. BrawL now from the side. Really all they've been able to do this entire time is just kind of push back waves. I'm not really sure what they have to do to try and contest this. Looks like all of Team C going to go up top, get ready for a potential push on that dampener.
Yeah, so Team C is fully grouped. They have Suturo back at base. It looks like he's going to try and catch up through the mid lane at this point. And then Team C is going to try and make a move on this last dampener of BrawL's.
That's very true. And it looks like everyone else is catching up too. So Untitled Joker making his way up from behind. So Tur needs to be there for a bit of extra damage. Now is when things get interesting to me, though, because like despite the 20K credit advantage in a team fight, I think that in a sustained team fight, these teams are about even now, just due to team comp. So if we have a really favorable situation again where Team C can just get in and pick someone off, I think that's it. I think that's GG. But if BrawL can draw this fight out, maybe they're in a decent spot. EMP actually ends up hitting the dampener, but it's going to start refiring right now. Is he's going to try and engage into this? I think that might be a bit brave. Dak actually goes down to about 5 hit points, but survives. Cow does the same. But man, no one ends up dying in the middle of all of that. Cow and Ease, though, definitely trading blows back and forth.
Yeah, very close fight there. I mean, we saw Team C even throw down the EMP, and they still were not able to get the turret. Oh, but Cow teleports back into the fight. It's a 4-on-3 right now.
Because that's what Cow can do. There is someone else pushing down bot right now for Team C. It looks like that's the Flash. He's going to be able to make his way back up here in just a second. Does BrawL want to try and engage on this, though? They have successfully pushed Team C off of their turret for the time being, or off the dampener for the time being, but not really able to just straight engage.
I mean, right now, BrawL is literally pushed back to their own power core turrets.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is a tricky spot, right? Because as soon as you decide to commit to those drones that are pushing your power core turrets, five guys up top at dampener, what do? So they have to rotate and communicate very efficiently here. Flash is just making sure that he's keeping drones pushed up because he can open up that split push possibility for his team. Now, honestly, Team C's not really getting a lot done here, though, and BrawL is again slowly stabilizing. If this game goes for another 15 minutes or so, that granted advantage just quits mattering.
Yeah, well, once you get to the hour-long point of a game, any credit advantage doesn't matter because no matter how far down you are, you've gotten enough farm that you're back into this game.
Right.
As you see, we have 2 fully built Suits of Sorrows going out for both of the tanks on BrawL. And they're missing maybe 1-2 items at tops. Other than that, all of BrawL is just as equally full build as Team C is.
And 2 full Suit of Sorrows is kind of frightening against the team comp that Team C has up right now, you know? Okay, so the dampeners are actually back online for BrawL. I actually think so they have 1 dampener down. That's going to be back up in about, what, 45 seconds or so? So if they can outlast that, they're actually not in a bad position. They can start to slowly push waves back out of their base. They can contest small objectives again. And like we said, the longer this goes on, the better a position that they're going to be in because of their Enforcer scaling. Yeah,
with these 2 Enforcer scalings, Team C really needed to close this game out a lot sooner than what they're doing right now.
They're still much more powerful than BrawL, don't get me wrong. Like, much more powerful than BrawL. It's only those scenarios where they can't pick someone off and a fight ends up being sustained pretty long that I worry about. With Harley Quinn there, some of that is mitigated just because of the sheer healing output, but it's still a concern.
So right now you're seeing Cripsy trying to eliminate with the drone wave coming in from the mid lane. But here Team C is going to be engaging on the bottom dampener again.
And they lock up Cow, but of course you can't engage on Cow. You just absolutely can't. He is the worst person to engage on Team C right now. He has too much health. He has too much protection. And of course he's just going to dive the back line and lock down people back there. So they have to find a way to pick off a squishy at the moment. Flash could be that person.
I don't know about Flash being the person they can pick off. I think he has too much of escape. And right now he's doing his job of just pushing the middle and bottom lane, middle and top lane out, while all 5 members of BrawL try and defend their last dampener.
You know, but Team C just hasn't been doing anything here, and they have pretty good poke. I mean, Star Sapphire alone should be able to push back these waves slowly, but they've hardly done any damage to this dampener. Of course, the dampener's much weaker the next times it comes up. Oh, they try to land a grab there, but unfortunately, Dak loses a quarter of his health having to sit there and channel that ability.
Oh, the ultimate going out on Cow here, but he looks like he's going to try and chain this over to... Yes, he chains it over to I'm Going Pro.
All right, so I'm Going Pro loses about a third of his health there, but the ult is down for Atomic Green Lantern for at least a little while. Misogen, as you mentioned before, is continuing to knock people in, and I mean, like I said, I just don't like this continuing position for Team C. They have not been very good about pushing objectives or trying to force an engagement, and BrawL is just sitting back and taking time. They don't care. Their dampeners are all about to come back up. 30 seconds, like we said, and that mid dampener is going to be back in play, and all of a sudden you won't have all those super awesome drones pushing everywhere. Yeah,
that middle dampener is just about to return right now. That's why GS is trying to close out as many of these drones as he can, but here comes Misogen making a move on GS.
Misogen comes in, does snipe out about a quarter of the life for GS, but they are going to be able to push this, trying to wait and just sit there for the dampener, but a great timing there from BrawL, and they're able to get a grab on Satura. Satura takes almost no damage, though. Ease is going to die due to the condemn from Nightmare Superman, and we did actually have a kill, I believe, on Misogen there. Oh, but look at that. They're trying to knock him down before he pops back up, but he can't. He's down to about 5 hit points, and he will actually sustain himself with Kathas and get a bit of a heal. He moves his way back out rounds, and that was a brilliant engagement from Team C. BrawL had their opportunity. They were able to engage under a dampener, but it doesn't matter. Cow dies at the end, but who cares now? That's going to be GG, and Team C ties up the set 1-1. And victory for Team C, 1-1 here in this best of 3, and that means, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game number 3. But I got that was there were some
talk
tricks
about this composition here.
All right, let's do it. Go.
So, obviously, the star of the show, Game 2, Cow on Nightmare Superman.
Oh, clearly, 100% agreed.
I was just so shocked. He went what, 6-0?
Yeah, he went. He opened 6-0-2. He opened 6-0-2, and that literally is why Team C won the game. Now, that is not any knock on any of their other any of the other teammates of Cow. Cow, though, outplayed BrawL, just flat out outplayed him, all of them, with his Nightmare Superman. The poke was great. He was constantly bullying Atomic Poison Ivy out of lane. He never let her get in and get favorable trades. He was always pushed against his own turret where he could allow ganks to come in from Mystigen as well. And honestly, they dominated that early game.
And so the thing is, with this past game, I really think BrawL needed to focus more on protecting Cripsy. Because once their 3 main damage dealers were down, the game was just for C to win at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And they always had this problem of squishies being overexposed. Like, BrawL was, like, the only times they were having people get picked off, it wasn't Dak that was getting picked off. He ended up finishing 8-3-5. He was doing great.
I mean, we saw at one point he had got 7 kills, and he was unstoppable at that point.
He actually started 0-3 and ended up getting 7-0-1 or something like that from there on out. So he ended up doing an incredibly efficient job towards the mid game there. But, like, they never pushed up with an enforcer behind them. Whenever we saw Genre, it was Genre who was getting picked off most of the time. Whenever we saw Genre, or whenever we saw Cripsy get knocked out, they were by themselves, they were isolated, they could have been in a position where they were playing in better communication with their teammates, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, no, Team C was playing that pick game perfectly. I mean, once Cow got 6-0 at the start of the game, you really couldn't do much to shut him down. Starting 6-0, he ended up going 3-1, and I'm not sure how many assists he had at that point. But that is game 2. We got one more game, game 3 of the semifinals. The winner of this game 3 goes on to face Church of Mal in the finals, and we'll be right back with a short break.